Now to a Fox News special report. Las Vegas is the hotbed of sports. In the last 5 years, we've added the Golden Knights and the Raiders.
The Oakland A is going to be the next major professional sports team to call Las Vegas home. Fox News Sports Director Kevin Bolinger joins us with a special report if Las Vegas is the next field of dreams.
Well, the Oakland A's slogan is rooted in Oakland, but the organization is flirting with uprooting the franchise and moving to Las Vegas. There are skeptics that say our city are once again being used by a team to get what they truly want. But what if what this organization truly wants is to move here? Because after all, you can't spell Las Vegas without the A's. It's a Monday night in Oakland, and less than 3,000 people are inside the Coliseum to watch the hometown A's take on the Minnesota Twins. The few A's fans there were inside the stadium marching to the beat of their own drummer. But the question remains for this Oakland community and its baseball team, does the drum signify a heartbeat or a death march?
They lost Raiders, they're losing the Warriors, or they lost the Warriors. Now they're going to lose the A's. It's like, come on, Oakland, kick it in.
The A's have been trying for years to get an upgraded stadium in Oakland, but just like the Raiders, local government officials have put up roadblock after roadblock as the A's try to get approval for a new home where shipping docks currently sit on the bay. This is the Howard Terminal at the Port of Oakland, and the A's are hoping to turn this into this. A $12 billion project that includes a 35,000-seat stadium, condominiums, plus office and retail space. A's President Dave Kaval says it's in the hands of politicians.
At the end of the day, it's going to come down to the public policymakers if they decide that our vision is something that fits with the future of Oakland and the Bay Area. And we just want to have an opportunity to have that vote.
We requested an interview with Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf. That request was not returned. The elephant in the room is Las Vegas. Last year, Major League Baseball gave the A's permission to seek a home in another city if a deal in Oakland can't get done. Kaval says Las Vegas was at the top of their list, and as it turned out, the only one on the list. After initially vetting Las Vegas, the A's never looked at another city.
I think the strength of the local market in terms of the fans and really passion for sports is really incredible. You know, I saw it with going to the Golden Knights games. I saw it seeing the Aviators, the Raiders. You know, there's just so many passionate sports fans in Las Vegas. Not even the tourists, just the people who live there. And I think that's a surprise for some folks. And I know for us, it was something that was really exciting to see.
Kaval says they've narrowed down their stadium location to just a couple of sites that are all either on the Strip or Strip adjacent. The team is hoping to have a decision soon and unveil artist renderings of a stadium in Las Vegas sometime in the next few weeks.
We really like the resort corridor because we want a site that appeals not only to tourists who can maybe come from their casinos where they're staying or resorts, but also locals, that they can get there and that it just creates the right balance between the two. So it's got to be easy for locals to get in and out, easy for tourists, and I think that's the perfect kind of Goldilocks site if we can find it.
Both the state legislature and members of the Clark County Commission have made it clear they aren't interested in any public funding for a new stadium. Kaval says he's aware of that, but said that part of the process comes after a site is picked, and that only then will the team seriously explore any public-private partnership. And don't worry, Aviators fans, if the A's move here, it's highly likely the Aviators will stay with the Major League team by the Strip and the AAA team in Summerlin. Is the market big enough to house a AAA team and the A's at the same time?
We think so. We think they can be very symbiotic and complementary. It'd be exciting for fans to see like the AAA players then boom, head to the Major League club. So I think it can be a real positive.
While there's a perception that Las Vegas is just a safety net for the A's and being used as leverage with Oakland officials, Kaval insists that is not the case. He says both projects are on parallel paths, and the clock is ticking. The A's lease at the Coliseum is up at the end of the 2024 season, and if they eventually move to Las Vegas, there will have to be a home ready to go by April of 2025. This is closer to happening than people may think, and things are going to start moving fast.
I really think by the end of the year, we really need to know one way or the other. Hopefully we'll get a sense this summer, especially in Oakland with some of the votes. Hopefully we'll be able to make an announcement in Las Vegas on a final site too, and then we can start a conversation with the community about how to bring that to reality.
There are a couple of key votes coming up in Oakland that will be a huge factor in where the A's final landing spot ends up. On June 30th, the San Francisco Bay Conservation and Development Commission is scheduled to vote on removing the port designation, which would allow the development project to proceed. Plus, there has to be a development agreement that both sides approve of, and the City Council of Oakland has to vote through. There's also the lawsuits that have been filed in the Bay Area by groups opposing the project. It's a lot of hurdles to overcome, which makes the idea of the A's in Las Vegas not as far-fetched as people thought.
While you were up there, did you detect any kind of urgency, any politicians spearheading an effort to try to keep them there? I mean, the mayor wouldn't talk to you. Did any other groundswell, action to keep them there?
Yeah, didn't really hear back from the public officials on this one when we requested interviews, but we can say that in terms of talking to the fans, not only on camera but off, there was a little bit of apathy there. And it's not just about the A's considering Las Vegas as a potential destination. They're frustrated after losing the Warriors, after losing the Raiders. There's also some frustration with the management because they have a very low payroll, one of the lowest in the major leagues, and traded away some of their star players before the season, all while raising prices at the Oakland Coliseum. All of those factor in as well. But kind of the answer we got when we talked to people was, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah, and that's a challenge because Mayor Libby Schaaf, she went viral for saying that Vegas is the gross desert. But on the flip side, fans are saying, what are you doing to keep the A's in Oakland? And we're not really seeing that kind of the push to lobby them to have solidarity behind them.
There is a history with the public officials in Oakland and not getting the job done in terms of trying to get the stadium renovations. This is nothing new. The A's and Raiders have been trying to get the Coliseum renovated or a new stadium built for decades, and they've gotten nowhere. And that is why there's some apathy with the fan base and why the A's finally went to Major League Baseball and said, you need to give us an option if this deal doesn't get done. And right now, Las Vegas is the option.
And Vegas knows how to get things done.
We'll see what happens. Thank you, Kevin. Good report.